좀 된게 배달.
이제 말하자면 총석이랑 시다한테 적어래. 그렇게 해서 일로 가.
송주에는 주만나에
그것이 지금
제사요래. 다들이 단대들이 줍드네 다리 주부 님한테 간주 단대 야하고 간주 날린다 식사 대겨운지 우마주고 다투다주래. 나 이제 네 주마야 진짜 개발나로 간주 베베 노충하다. 근데 된대도가 신경 간주다. 뒤투다주래. 이마 숨체. 되네 진짜 구분나로 아시아 간주 송주지 다주래. 되네 진짜 주변나로 단대 책임.
이시에 가져가래.
다 아시아 디크란주 단대 하 시스인데 겨울음지 배는 땡데
조지 반대 아디샤에 세버지. 조지 아디샤에 세버지. 조지 아디샤. 조지 반대 아디샤에 세버지. 나 직진도 지지. 아마 다지 라.
라데 쿠라데
Namaste.
Namaste.
My humble pranams and obeisances to you, respects to you.
Yes. I'm ready.
Pleasure. Oh yeah, so whenever they're ready to go live, we can start as well.
Yes.
Shall we start or we are meant to start at 8? The team has to tell us.
또 현장이야. 나 수다다 구요나. 또 용자 켜주고 그러고.
라데 겹두고 주스 개발은 다 콘서트지 빠르지 출라진 단데 야마 체리진 같은 소리됐어. 나는 디도 겹죠.
그래.
응? 크라초는 우주하지.
It is my great honor to be with you once again and see you here.
Thank you.
So whenever the team is ready, we just need to know so we can start. We were meant to start at 8 o'clock, so it's 7:54 now. So whenever, are we meant to start at 8 o'clock, Shah?
Gopalji, we're ready to start whenever you are.
Oh, I'm ready. So if we're ready to go start now, I'm ready to start as well.
Yes, we can start.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes.
So it is my great privilege, pleasure, and honor to be in your presence, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. And I want to take this opportunity to express my very sincere gratitude to you for agreeing to do this conversation. I also want to express my deep gratitude to your team who has been organizing this whole event with our team, to the digital team who has been in touch with our digital team, Satya Gopinath Das and others, to make it happen. So very, very grateful that you have agreed to be a part of this conversation.
Okay.
We all are aware of the glorious position and stature of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Absolutely sought after and most loved spiritual leader around the world. His Holiness Dalai Lama is an ambassador of peace, of love, of compassion, of harmony, of spirituality. And the kind of impactful work that he has done around the world, the kind of noble work that he has done around the world has obviously brought him the Nobel Peace Prize in the year 1989, and also the very rare and very prestigious American Congressional Gold Medal. There are so many awards and honors that His Holiness has been honored with and respected with. But I think one of the greatest awards, as all of us will vouch for, is the love, the respect, the acceptance that he has received from the millions of his students, followers, disciples, admirers all over the world. So indeed, we are very, very fortunate to have him in our midst, and especially here in India. India is blessed that he's made his residence at Dharmashala. So very grateful, His Holiness, that you have given us this opportunity to converse with you and have this interaction and discussion with you. So also our best wishes and prayers, which was your 85th birthday on the 6th of July. Such an auspicious occasion, 85 years, and what a beautiful journey of these 85 years it has been. And I always feel that we all are shaped by our education, our training that we get, obviously. Like you in your own monastery and your monastic life, you may have had your teachers, your gurus, who gave you this teachings and your own experience, your own wisdom. But beyond what we receive in the monastic life, I also feel that each individual in the world is very much shaped by what is pre-monastic life, which is very foundational. One's upbringing, one's cultural background, one's traditions, one's family, one's community, one's traditions, how these impact an individual to be who he or she is today. Which is why often we say that values are not just taught, but values are caught. We catch those values as we grow up. So I wanted to begin this conversation this morning in India and different time zones, different parts of the world. But I wanted to begin this conversation, His Holiness, by delving a little bit into your personal life, if that's fine. You know, how was your upbringing? What if there will be some values from your community, your tradition in Tibet, your family, your friends, your culture that you were brought up in? What would those few experiences be, or something that very deeply impacted you and which has shaped you to be who you are today and what you do today for the world? Such amazing work. And of course, from what you learned in the monastery as well. So I'd like to ask you how all of these upbringing in your personal life as a child is responsible for who you are today.
Right, indeed. I'm very happy, great honor, you see, having a discussion with you, one Indian. I may say typical Indian, not court suit.
Traditional Indian. Yes.
I often, you see, telling people, and also because I feel the India, modern India, too much emphasis about material value. India, over 3,000 years, already talking ahimsa, karuna. That is India's tradition.
Yes.
So now, a modern Indian, in a way, a little bit, they neglect these 1,000-year-old India's, you see, thought, India's tradition, ahimsa, karuna. I myself is a follower of Nalanda tradition. So all the Nalanda masters are Indian. Buddha himself Indian.
Mm.
So Buddha learned already sort of existing spiritual tradition in India. That is Jainism, and also you see Sankhya philosophy. In these different sort of Indian philosophy, all carry the concept of ahimsa, karuna. And then Buddha, one sort of unique thing, Buddha, you see, mentioned, "Oh, my follower, monks, nuns, and so on, should not accept my teaching out of faith, but rather through sort of reasoning." So, the eventually Nalanda institution developed. So Nalanda is something culture center, not just monastery, but you see learning center.
Right.
So many of Nalanda master, such as Nagarjuna, Arya Asanga, Buddha Palita, and Dignath, Dharmakirti, all these Nalanda master. So there are very much sort of emphasis, the logical approach. So therefore, I feel so now 1,000-year-old India's tradition, these ahimsa based on karuna, is very much relevant to today's world.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of problem which we are facing is too much negative emotion. So the negative emotion, you see, cannot reduce just simply pray to God. The negative emotion must sort of also reduce through reasoning. India's ahimsa, why we need ahimsa, why we need karuna. So for that, even you see 3,000 years old already concept of shamatha, vipassana. These are sort of thinking, reasoning, vipassana, reasoning. Shamatha, you see,
focusing.
Try to increase ability of our mind. So usually our mind very much scattered. And then also you see, chit, sixth mind, senses of organs, no ability to analyze, but only sixth mind. But in order to carry that, you see, you should have some sort of experience, deep, some experience, deeper level of our mind. Then analytical meditation, vipassana. So these the India really have the great potential is to educate people in order to increase these ability of our mind, you see, through education, not through prayer, not through faith, but through intelligence. Basically, all, I may say all sentient being, and at least you see, a living being on this planet, you see, very basis of survival is loving kindness. including insect, birds, other animals. You see, without their, for example, birds or other animals, without their mother's affection, they cannot survive. Then we, human being, also, you see, without mother's affection, we cannot survive.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with religion, but nature. Our life, you see, depends on compassion, karuna. So the concept of karuna, all major religious traditions, inspired in different philosophy, but all carry same message of love, karuna,
Yes.
and different philosophy. Theistic religion, just God. So when they describe the nature of God, infinite love. But in the theistic religion, there's not much philosophical thinking, faith. But now, this country, over 3,000 years, as I mentioned earlier, already, you see, utilize the how to develop karuna and how to develop ahimsa, utilize through shamatha and vipassana. So now vipassana is intellectual to thinking. So that actually peace, the karuna and ahimsa is basis of mental peace. You see, which emotion destroy peace of mind is anger and fear, jealousy.
Yes.
So antidote of these destructive emotion is karuna, ahimsa, these two. So I always see expressing the modern India should sort of revive ancient Indian knowledge, Indian thought, combined with modern education. India have the ability and opportunity to combination modern education and inner peace or education or knowledge about our mind. So modern education brings the sort of material facility, and also modern education provides hygiene of physical.
Yeah.
Now that's not sort of sufficient. Now Indian tradition is hygiene of emotion. Now that, you see, we can combine these two things, taking care of our body and meantime taking care of our mind, not just through faith, but analyze. Firstly, full of knowledge about mind. Then you see how to keep peace of mind. So human intelligence, you see, utilize to develop inner peace. Now materialistic life, human intelligence, most cases utilize for material development. So therefore, now I always talking about these India's 1,000-year-old inner value. So usually I describe myself as a messenger of Indian thought.
Amazing.
I always talk ahimsa, karuna. And also, you see, when I talk these things, again, Indian tradition, secular, not based on religion. Simply use our mind, our intelligence, not talking about God, not talking about next life, simply how to carry day by day peaceful, calm mind, like that.
Yes. Yes.
So now, India,
Yes.
recent decades, I think India also, you see, some way neglect these 1,000-year-old India's knowledge about inner world.
Yeah.
Now, India, this knowledge is your own knowledge. So, question of just revival,
Yes.
not introduce something new from outside. No, your own 1,000-year-old tradition that should revive in education field. Few temples, you see, few monasteries, not sufficient. In education, should include education about our inner world, a secular way.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's my
Beautiful response, His Holiness. Yes, beautiful response. Thank you so much for bringing these amazing points up about firstly talking more than religion and more than faith, universal values.
yes, universal value.
You're really mentioning about universal values,
That's right.
which have been a part of the tradition of India, which has been a part of the culture of India.
True.
And it is so crucial that we, as you very rightly pointed out, it is so very crucial that we revive those universal values, which are applicable at all times for all nationalities, for all people from all faiths, all genders, all socioeconomic statuses.
Right.
It's applicable to all. The mind is there with all.
Right.
The body is there with all. The spirit is there in all. And
Right.
everybody has a life.
Right, right.
And so beautifully you have put this principle, His Holiness, that we need to really be reviving these universal values and living by them in a very non-sectarian way, without having a sectarian approach.
Yes, yes.
These universal values. And the point that you were mentioning was also very beautiful, that we need to bring this ancient wisdom, this ancient values in a very modern way, with the modern education. As we combine the two, that is when it becomes extremely appealing to the world, in the modern world.
Right.
It's not just faith, but it's a science.
That's right. That's
Logic.
right. That's right.
It's science, it's logic, it's rational thinking. I often give this analogy that when sometimes you have a blind man and a lame man, a person who doesn't have legs and a person who doesn't have vision, and both of them are meant to cross the road. So when the lame person or the person who doesn't have legs is not able to walk, but the person who doesn't have eyes cannot see. So when the person who doesn't have legs picks up the person who doesn't have eyes on his shoulders, then together the eyes gives the direction and the feet gives the movement. So modern education is like the feet, the facility, the technology, and ancient wisdom is like the vision. So when we combine the feet and the vision together, there is movement, there is progress, there is evolution. So thank you so much, His Holiness, for bringing this very important point up, that we need to combine the modern and the ancient in a very non-sectarian way, so that even a modern young person will be willing to accept these values and transform their lives. So you made a very beautiful point, which I want to bring up again as the next question that I wanted to ask you about. You were talking about the mind, negative emotions in the mind, anger, jealousy, envy, insecurity, so much unnecessary greed, so violent thoughts, so much stress. So you were talking about peace, and you have been a great ambassador of world peace, His Holiness. You've been emphasizing a lot on peace and harmony. So definitely leaders around the world, global leaders, national leaders, are meant to stop violent elements and protect people from violence. But I don't think that the responsibility of peace is only up to the leaders. The responsibility of peace is to every individual in the world. Every person has to be an ambassador of peace. You've been voicing it so vocally, correct? But people have to take the response. Like I often say, people who are not so evolved, their thinking is, if everyone can do it, I can do it also. If no one can do it, then I should do it. But people who are not so evolved, they think, if everyone can do it, why should I do it? And if no one can do it, I cannot do it. So we have to become responsible for bringing in peace. So Mahatma Gandhi said that we have to be the change we want to see in the world. If we want to bring a change, change must come from individuals and from within. Jesus Christ said men or women must change before nations do. Nations are made of men and women. Communities are made of men and women. The world is made of men and women. Society is made of men and women. So until people change, there's no question of bringing peace in the world. So my question to you, Your Excellency, is people today are so distraught. There's so much, their mind is so disturbed. There's so much disturbance in the mind of people with negativity, stress, insecurity, envy, anger, violent thoughts, pressures. So what would your advice be, Your Holiness? How would individuals make that change? What would be the 2-3 things you would tell them on a daily basis they should do in a way that they can be at peace and then be ambassadors of peace to their community and the world at large? What should individuals do to practice peace in their daily life and deal with their negative emotions?
Now, since it's our tradition, Indian tradition, utilize vipassana, analytical meditation, analyze. And also, the Indian tradition, particularly the Nalanda tradition, everything analyze. So we fully utilize human intelligence. Human value is human compassion. Then this human intelligence, also tell us the importance of compassion. Compassion itself, now animal, there is compassion, but they have no intelligence. So simply biological factor, that's all. We, human being, this special brain, and utilize. Now here, I want to so therefore, now last few decades, I have serious discussion with modern scientists.
Yes.
Because our tradition is analytical meditation, analyze, not just faith. So therefore, we have sort of serious discussion with modern scientists. Until late 20th century, the modern scientists, they simply concern about brain, not chit, mind. Now, later part of 20th century, modern now scientists, great scientists, now accept beside this brain, there is something which can affect our brain. Yeah. Through their sort of experiment, people who have some deeper experience, meditation. So while they meditate, they investigate their brain situation. So they found there is differences. So now modern scientists also now accept the importance of mind and importance of compassion.
Yes.
Karuna. Like quantum physics. Quantum physics, you see, they make distinction, appearance and reality. All the negative emotion entirely based on appearances. So something exists as appears. That's the basis of anger, hatred, fear. All the destructive emotion based on appearances. So now, the quantum physics, now some of them, you see, say, beside appearances, the appearances objectively exist.
Yes.
If you think deeper level, and everything particle, so not as appears.
Yeah.
Now some Chinese student who study quantum physics, some of them you see express when they study quantum physics, then they develop, you see, conviction. Then you see the things appears not grasping as objectively exist. Deeper level, nothing. So that's Indian tradition. Shunyata, nothing exists as appears. So all the negative emotion based on appearances. So positive emotion, you see, based on reason. Like karuna, there is reason. We can meditate. We can increase through meditation, through training, to utilize our intelligence. Anger, all certain come very strong, but since you see based on appearances, so anger, we cannot meditate on anger. We can meditate on karuna, isn't it? Maitri, karuna. Negative emotion just come on the basis of appearances. If you analyze, think more, then the strength of these destructive emotion gradually weaker. So now, without talking about religion, how to bring peace of mind.
Yes.
Now here, the quantum physicists, their sort of view, very useful. So now this Indian tradition, 1,000-year-old Indian tradition, now combined with modern science. And then also some scientists say, we are social animal. So any social animal, the sense of concern of their community is by nature there, because their existence depend on their community. So taking care about community, biologically, you see there, nothing to do with religion. Now, since we also social animal, so children, you see, as soon as they born, you see, their life depend on their mother and the surroundings of the people and community. So now, when we grown up, you see, without much talking about these deeper value, just intellectual, so the materialistic sort of thinking, education, I feel that is a mistake. When material education, you see, no mention about mind, about inner world. So now, a lot of world problem is due to emotion. For that, as I mentioned earlier, hygiene of emotion, very important. That India's tradition, only India's tradition can help there, can help that. Materialistic education, so no idea.
Yes.
So therefore, now India's 1,000-year-old the tradition now should be firstly within India, these 1,000-year-old India's sort of knowledge about mind, shamatha, these should be part of our education.
Sure.
So modern education in this country introduced by Britisher, they do not know. So now we should revive in our education field, in school, from kindergarten level up to university level.
Yes.
Should include study, knowledge about emotion, about how to tackle our emotion.
Sure.
As a part of academic subject, not religious subject.
Yes. Yes.
Religion is individual, personal matter. Whether believer or non-believer, whether believe this religion, that is up to individual. But these things, as a human being, how to build healthy human individual, combination, healthy human community. Finally, 7 billion human beings.
Yes.
With help of Indian education in previous century, Mahatma Gandhiji, you see, show rest of the world ahimsa, non-violence. So South Africa and America and many people really used to follow Mahatma Gandhiji's sort of non-violence as a thinking idea. So now here, today, now this 21st century, I think India should make more effort in education, how to bring inner peace. This is my.
Yes. Thank you so much, Your Holiness, for emphasizing so much on the importance of Indian ancient wisdom and Indian sciences of the mind, beyond just the taking care of the body.
Mind.
The body, beyond just caring for the body and materialism, but going beyond and maintaining the hygiene of our emotions. It is, like you rightly pointed, physical hygiene is important, but emotional hygiene is even more important because that's where we experience life. So very, very beautifully you have emphasized on the importance of emotional hygiene, which is beyond any religion, which is beyond any faith, again, as you very rightly put. And you also emphasized on this aspect that these elements need to be a part of the modern education system. We have to start teaching these principles, these values, right from early childhood to children in this country and around the world. And the Latin word educare means to bring out. It's not just knowing. It is to, we need to bring out that which is within us. Something that's within us to bring out is the origin of the word education. Latin, it's educare, bring out what is within you. So you very beautifully emphasized on the importance of bringing these principles into the education system, regardless of religious faith. Now, one thing that I want to bring up in this conversation is that you've been emphasizing a lot on being, we follow our respective faiths. There may be somebody who's following Buddhism, somebody who's following Hinduism, somebody who may be following Judaism, somebody may be following Sikhism, somebody may be following Jainism, somebody may be following Islam, somebody may be following Zoroastrianism. So many faiths. And each of the space is a very individual, personal journey.
Right.
It is my journey. As I am a Hindu, I am a Vaishnav Hindu. I practice the Vaishnav side of Hinduism. So it's a very personal faith to me. Your Holiness practices Tibetan Buddhism, and it is a very personal faith to you. And there are so many individuals in the world who are following their respective faiths and evolving in their inner spiritual journey based on their faith. Sometimes I feel very disheartened. Sometimes I feel very sad to see the modern plight of the world today, where we've become so strongly adherent to our personal faith that we have forgotten that there is a universal value of humanity. We are a human race. And Your Holiness has been speaking about compassion, karuna, again and again. Constantly have been emphasizing on the principle of karuna, that we are meant to practice compassion. We are meant to practice kindness. We are meant to practice love. The purpose of all religion, of all religion and faith is compassion. It is kindness. It is love.
Oh.
But we have now become so narrow-minded, and we think so much in terms of our own faith, that I don't know why we can't come together. Why can't we keep our philosophical differences aside? And why can't we come together as one humanity, and practice these essential principles coming from these cultures and traditions? Sometimes I feel, is it ego? Is it immature understanding of one's faith? I sometimes wonder, Your Holiness, why can't we come together and share one purpose, regardless of our faith, regardless of our religious practice, one purpose. We are a humanity, 7 billion human beings. We are meant to be compassionate, kind, loving to each other. We are meant to be bringing the values of seva, service to each other, harmony and love. So what do you think, Your Holiness, is stopping us? What is holding us back? Why are we not, as spiritual leaders, religious leaders, coming together with one purpose in mind and keep our individual faiths to ourselves? What do you think, Your Holiness, would be the solution to a problem like this?
One, my commitment is religious harmony.
Yes.
All major religious tradition, even within India, in ancient time, as I already mentioned, the Sankhya philosophy, and also Charvaka. You see, different philosophical thinking, but all carry message of karuna.
Yes.
So now look today's world religion, whether Hindu, Christian, Judaism, Muslim, Zoroastrian, and all these religions, you see, their essence is karuna, love, loving kindness.
Yes. Okay.
So all religion talking about loving kindness, and with that, a practice of forgiveness, tolerance, self-discipline. All religion, you see, carry that.
Yes.
And for that, utilize different philosophy. So now we should look essence of all religion. Then you see, same message. Different philosophy is method to promote that sort of deeper value. So those Christian, some my friend Christian, very sincere practice of loving kindness.
Yes.
And similarly, some Muslims, some Jews, similar. Now, I have sort of full confidence religious harmony is possible look, India is the example.
Yes.
All major world religious tradition live
Yes.
in this country. Besides
Correct.
India's homegrown different religion,
Yes.
from outside, Zoroastrian, Judaism, Christian,
Yes.
Muslim, all
Yes.
now so they settle here. So
Yeah.
all world religion now live together.
Yes.
And since, you see, 1,000 years, the India, all major religious tradition live together. So from childhood, people knows there are different religious tradition.
Correct.
So Indian Muslim and Muslim in Muslim country, you see, the same religion, but Indian Muslim is with a sort of knowledge. There are many religions.
Yeah.
So unlike Muslim country, just one religion. So this problem, you see, happen. And then within Muslim, Shia and Sunni problem. India, I never heard problem between Shia and Sunni. So here, we already know there are different religious traditions. So that's personal business. And the society, since society, there are many followers of different religious tradition. So
Yes.
religion is personal matter. You see,
Correct.
so India is the example. Different religion can live together harmoniously, and some sort of in philosophical field, some argument. It is within Buddhism. In Nalanda, you see, Chitta Mantra, at the Madhyamika, and Sudantic, all Buddhist. There's a lot of debate in the philosophical field. So in the philosophical fields, there is some discussions or debate.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
But faith, the essence of all these faith is karuna.
Yeah.
And with that forgiveness. And we human being, this human intelligence, we should be realistic.
Yes.
Emotion is part of our mind, but
Yes.
we should think more realistic way. So then there are many religious traditions, and all inspired different philosophy, all carry same message, like that. So I think
Yes.
India is example. So now India's still religious harmony there
Yeah.
is example to rest of the world, and especially the Indian Muslim, which should make some effort to bring harmony among Muslim country, their Shia and Sunni problem. So India's religious people should be more active. Now, it is not time to just preserve our tradition within our own community. Now time come, India's these wonderful tradition now show rest of the world,
Yes.
and particularly a country in the name of religion killing each other. So such case, I think India's religious people, including Indian Muslim, should be active.
Yes.
So sometime back, I suggested my Muslim friend, mainly from Ladakh, Shia and Sunni, that we took some conference in Delhi, initiated by Indian Muslim. So some Muslim countries, also the scholars, such from Iran, and some Muslim countries, so representative, and I think the mission in Muslim countries in Delhi, they also, you see, participate. So that's I fully committed. So like you, the Indian now religious leader, should be more active, you see, to show our neighbor in Afghanistan and Gaza, or Pakistan and these Muslim countries. I think we can do something, and it is quite relevant to today's situation. So we should now, like many religious people, are sitting meditation and also some yoga practice. That's good, but not sufficient. Now should be active to create religious harmony on this planet.
Yes.
And with that, ultimately, we all have the responsibility to promote human loving kindness and ahimsa to 7 billion human beings.
Yes.
That is, I think, India's, that will be greatest contribution for from this country to world peace. So sometimes...
Thank you very much.
No,
Please. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel Mahatma Gandhi ji, you see, he wonderful sort of promote ahimsa. He himself thoroughly practiced that. Wonderful.
Yes.
But his period, I think it seems a little bit, I think his negligence about religious harmony. He should, I think, make more effort and promotion of ahimsa and karuna through education field. And Pandit Nehru, more Englishman. He much sort of his lifestyle more English rather than Indian. Mahatma Gandhi ji, you see, looks like a beggar, wonderful, really wonderful. But he should pay more attention about in India's education should include some ancient Indian thought and should be part of Indian modern education. So now...
Thank you very much. Yeah, please, you continue, please. Sure.
So now, past is past, but future not yet come. So our generation, we can make future. So with a wider perspective, long-term sort of view, we can make new future. So India, over 1 billion population, and then China, also over 1 billion population. Traditionally, very close. Now today, geographically also now, India and China, most populated two nations. China, now today, I think, because of the greatest number of Buddhists, around 400 million Buddhists now in China. So, besides some small political sort of differences, otherwise, you see, there is no way to become some negative attitude to each other. We should live side by side. There's no way. So, I often, you see, expressing, we really need Hindi Chini bye-bye. Isn't it? Economically and for world peace and spiritually, India is really ultimately guru of spiritual. So India now should take, you see, that responsibility and create the bright future. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much again, Your Excellency, for emphasizing so much on looking at the essence and not being caught simply with the details. The details are our personal faiths. And every religious tradition, every spiritual tradition today has to focus on the essence. The methods may be different. Philosophically, there may be debate, but the purpose is one.
Right.
Compassion,
Right.
kindness, love, service. Like when we want to come to the number 10, we can say 5 plus 5 is 10, or 7 plus 3 is 10, or 6 plus 4 is 10, or 1 plus 9 is 10. There are so many different ways to come to 10. And one particular individual may stick to 5 plus 5, and the other may stick to 6 plus 4. But the end result we want to come to is 10. So truly, we need to seek that essence. And whichever faith we are from, whichever tradition or whichever nation we are from, all of us as spiritual or religious leaders, or those who represent spirituality or religion, must now come together and focus on this essence. And you've been so much emphasizing on India being the country which can lead this initiative. We can have our personal practices, but we have to come together to share now, share and bring this to everybody in the world and bring this to humanity. So thank you very much. And you've been really emphatic about this throughout the conversation. I want to ask you one question, if you permit me, if probably it's fine with you and if time is not a restriction. I remember I had interacted with you in an interfaith conference in Delhi. We were sharing stage together and we were discussing there. And the one thing that I saw, you were very busy. You were traveling so much before the lockdown began, extensive traveling, lecturing. Even now you have a busy schedule, doing online sessions. So you are a very busy person. You are a very deep person in your own spiritual practice. At the same time, I see you to be very humorous. You're very humorous. You're full of life. You are happy. You have an oceanic smile. When you smile from the core of your soul. You know, it's not like a plastic smile at all. Your smile is radiant. You beam positivity, you know. And I see you are also, excuse me if I use this particular word, but you're also very naughty, Your Holiness. Sometimes you will hold someone's face and do this. Sometimes you'll pull someone's beard. Sometimes you'll just chuckle. Sometimes you have a lot of life in you, you know. So you have the childlike innocence. You have the childlike innocence, that innocent purity, that joy in you. Simultaneously, you also have depth. You have gravity. When you speak grave subjects. When you deal in a very childlike, innocent way with a lot of fun and humor. So I see that childlike innocence is so much needed to experience joy. Simultaneously, gravity and seriousness is so much required to do something substantial for the world. And in you, I see that balance of depth and gravity, but also simultaneously the childlike innocence, the childlike humor, the childlike smile. So how do you think people should find that balance? There should be that childlike innocence, humor and fun. But there should also be depth and gravity. Because if there's only gravity, then there is hard-heartedness. And if there's only innocence and fun and humor, then it becomes not childlike, it becomes childishness or frivolousness. So how does one strike that balance? What is your experience and what do you suggest people should do?
Yes. And I think many years ago, one occasion, my visit to London, England, London, one tea party. Then one old English gentleman is to come towards me, and then he expressed he really appreciate. I often say I don't know. So then I felt, oh, Englishmen, I think they even do not know. They pretended they know. So honest, truthful is very important. Then I think Tibetan, generally speaking, because of the joyful, jovial, jovious Tibetan tradition.
Okay.
And then also you see my practice bodhicitta, altruism. You see, all sentient beings are my brothers, sisters.
Yes.
And within this world, 7 billion human beings are truly our brothers, sisters. Then altruism is the basis of happiness. Self-centered sort of attitude is the ultimate source of worry, anxiety, and then anger. So the altruism is I think the very basis of all our positive mind, positive emotion. Anger is the basis of all destructive emotion. So my daily practice, according Kosa, Shivola, Shantadeva, Nalendra Master, one of Master, Shantadeva. His book, I always often read at his sort of the 10th chapter, his book, and the 6th chapter, and explain how destructive about anger. Then 8th chapter, altruism, and think more others' well-being than myself. So that practice, my main daily practice. So that really gives me inner peace. And then that book also mentioned your enemy or your troublemaker is a true teacher of your sort of practice, teacher. We need practice of patience or tolerance. That, you see, gives the opportunity, practice of these things by your enemy, not by friend, even not by Buddha. So therefore, the troublemaker for you is actually teacher of your practice. So instead of anger, should feel gratitude, like that. So this my daily practice. As soon as I wake up, I always think or meditate about altruism, bodhicitta, and combined with the now here Atma and Anatma theory. You believe Atma, Buddhists believe Anatma theory. But we both, accept we are here, we need food, we need sleep. No differences, people who believe Anatma theory or Atma theory. But there's something, the philosophical field. So therefore, we all, practice karuna.
Yes.
And karuna.
That's again beautiful. Yes.
And karuna, with some effort, day by day, month by month, year by year, decade by decade, then you see your inner strength increasing.
Yes. Thank you so much again, Your Holiness. Okay. Sorry. Please.
All these Indian tradition, we really appreciate 1,000-year-old India's tradition.
Yes.
And 8th century Tibetan emperor invited a Nalendra master, one Nalendra master, Shanta Rakshita, great scholar, great logician. he introduced Buddha Dharma according to Nalanda tradition. Tibet already have very close relation with Chinese Buddhists. They, most cases, they sort of emphasize single-pointed mind, meditation. But Nalanda, meditation, important, but study, analyze, analytical meditation, more important. So we, since 8th century, we follow the Shanta Rishita's, what's the guidance, study.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much again for this profound insights that you've shared with us about whether it's dealing with anger. Like many times they say anger is only one letter short of danger. You know, one letter added to anger and it's danger. So definitely it's very dangerous for our human emotions. And you very beautifully also brought up the practice of altruism, where we consider every human being and every species in the world as our brothers and our sisters. So it is very, very beautiful that you brought up that as well. And the principle of gratitude, that we practice gratitude. Every morning we practice gratitude. Every morning we practice meditation. And it is through this that we find that inner peace, that inner fulfillment in our journey. And regarding philosophy, like you rightly said, philosophically, we may have our own philosophies, and different traditions believe in different things. But universally, we have the same values and we focus on the same values.
Right.
So definitely very, very beautiful. Thank you for those profound insights. I would like to ask you one last question, Your Holiness, before we conclude our conversation today. And I'm so very grateful once again for your valuable time. You have extended yourself to share with us your time and to share with us your heart and your experiences and your wisdom from your life. In your entire journey, you're now 85, still fit, still very happy, still going strong and spreading the message of Karuna, still spreading the message of love and seva, still spreading the message of peace and harmony around the world. If there be three very crucial and important lessons that you learned during your entire journey of 85 years, what would those three, apart from Karuna, you have emphasized on Karuna, of course, apart from gratitude and meditation, apart from our spiritual practice, which is all like the crux of it. But apart from all of these, if there be three very crucial lessons that life has taught you in your journey, what would those three lessons be? What would those three experiences be, which you would like to share with all who are watching us today? And how can they implement these three principles or these three lessons in their lives? So that would be something that I would like to ask you.
One Nalanda master, I think around 8th century, the Shantadeva, as I already mentioned, you see, one his verses, if things, you see, when we face some difficulties and tragic situation, then analyze whether that can overcome or not. To analyze, if there is a way to overcome, then we must make effort. Then, if to analyze or study the situation, no way to overcome, then no use to worry. So that's very good. You see, very, very good advice. Very practical. Very practical.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now here, I just also want, regarding education, now in this country, the combination ancient Indian knowledge about how to tackle our emotion, and then modern education. For that, I just felt the Delhi Chief Minister, once he invited me and we have some meeting. So he mentioned he very much keen in education, more karuna, happiness. So I think the Delhi Chief Minister, he already, expressed some interest about that. So under his leadership and some appropriate occasion, some the Chancellor, Vice Chancellor of different university of India, and including like you see, some 2-3 days, some kind of seminar, how to sort of develop Indian education field, combination, ancient Indian education about mind, emotion, and modern education. I just to express that. So I have no sort of ability, to make some text. So I think Delhi Chief Minister, I think may so I think when you have also the opportunity to meet him, please convey, and perhaps I may also write a letter to him.
Sure.
Since he already showing that. So Delhi as a capital, so some new concept or new program in education, in school, in college, about education, about inner value, and these things. Then eventually more Indian education field, can do that. So that's my request, my feeling.
Sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, you brought out the importance of, you quoted this text and said that, can I overcome this problem? Right? I have the power to overcome, and if I can, I must do it. And if I can't, there's no point just worrying. So that was one of the lessons you shared with us, and also the importance of experiencing a happier life and how to integrate this within our education system. So very, very grateful again, His Holiness, for your very valuable time and your profound insights. We are very grateful that you've taken the time out to spend this time with us today and share your wisdom, share your thoughts with us on a variety of subjects, whether it was religion or it was peace or it was education, or whatever the subject may have been. You've given your thoughts and your insights, and we are very grateful for your time, grateful for all those who have been watching us as well. And I'm sure the insights shared by His Holiness have benefited you in thinking in a fresher way and in transforming your life in a positive way. Once again, I express my pranams and my namaskar to you. And I express my profuse gratitude for your time and for your wisdom that you're sharing and the great work that you're doing in the world. As you many times say, you're the son of India. Representing India, you go around and you're sharing this tradition with the world. I express my deep gratitude and my pranams to you. Thank you very much.
Some scientists, they also telling me the global warming decade by decade increasing. So after few decades, global warming reached such a level, then most of these river, lakes may disappear. So there's some scientists, some special scientists, now they say that. Then I felt, oh yes, now the whole world now facing some kind of trouble which is beyond our control. So next few decades, while we live as before, much better to live happily with sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, the whole world, the present condition may not remain much longer. So no use to quarrel, to killing each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.